everyone is willing to help you if you have an open mind. So what that means is no one is going to look down on you for not knowing 1+1.
Hello, viewers. You are welcome to the Giftio Conversations. I am always glad to bring you new episodes. Our guests keep getting better and better. Thank you for all the support that you have shown us. If you have ever wondered how it is like to work for Microsoft, today is your day. Today I have the amazing Oluwafunmilola Kesa with us. She has the longest first name Yes. Hi, Kesha.
Hi, Gifty. Like I'm honored. Like I feel with all these accolades.
You really deserve it. Thank you for making it as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
I know you are on a very tight schedule, so thank you.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm glad to be here.
All right. So, first questions first. In my opinion, this should be the first question. Do you have any Apple products? Or it's all...
I was about to sing Who Runs the World?
I know. So please tell us.
Well, I do have Apple products, like my personal laptop right from school has been an Apple product, and then I got to use the phone. And I think one thing about Apple is if you by mistake get one of their products, you are locked in. Like you have to get the other ones because you feel like everything syncs. Yeah.
But okay, so apart from you using Apple products, when you went to Microsoft, do you still use Apple products, or do people working with Microsoft still use Apple products? Isn't it like some competition thing?
Of course, like it's a big world, and one thing I've realized here is before I joined Microsoft, you feel like, oh, all the giant tech giants like compete, and they do not interact with one another or use each other's products. But one thing I found out is most times those big companies collaborate, they tend to use each other's products, or even underlying things that we do not know about, like there may be agreements, like patents and things like that. So one thing I've seen is companies that tend to collaborate with one another. Of course, each company is going to try to sell its own products first or use its own products, but that doesn't mean that they're not open to using other companies' products. I think most Microsoft employees do use Apple products, and we even have discounts when you go to an Apple store. So that's
wow.
The level of collaboration, and even though it's more like collaborating and competing at the same time. So I feel like it's a symbiotic relationship where everyone mutually benefits. Yeah,
that is interesting. I would have argued with someone that there is no way a Microsoft employee would buy an Apple product. But to know that you even get discounts, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, so now that we have gotten that out of the way and I am satisfied with the answer, how you are currently a software engineer with Microsoft. I know it would be one long journey. Can you take us through that? From your primary school.
That's way back. Okay. Well, yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a long journey. And first, I'm grateful for, this stage of life. I'm grateful for the opportunity to work for a software company that is impacting the world. millions of users and the likes. So if I'm to take you through my journey from primary school, well, yeah, I did go to primary school as every other person. I can't really remember a lot from primary school, but I know that in primary six, I've I think I always wanted something different. I was passionate about mathematics, I think so. I remembered going for mathematics competition, and at that stage I met a lot of incredible and amazing young people that were really intelligent. And at some point, I think I felt like, oh, do I really know what I'm doing? But yeah, like that also gave me the courage, to also go out for things that I'm not comfortable with. And yeah, so primary school, fast forward to secondary school, still love mathematics, enjoyed further maths. And then I think there came a point in my life where I needed to make a decision on what I was going to study at the university. And then I remembered my biology teacher. Then I was one of his favorite students. I like him too. It was more like, like it was beyond teacher student relationship. He was more like a mentor. Then I still remember his name, Mr. Dada. And he felt like, because he taught us biology then, and it was like, oh, for me, you need to study medicine. You should go for medicine. You're good at biology. And but deep down within me, I was like, I love mathematics more.
Yeah.
Biology. And for me, I felt at that point, I felt like I don't think I'm good at reading big textbooks. And what I had is, when you go to medical school, you need to study a lot, you need to learn a lot of words, you need to learn a lot of botanical names and things like that. And for me, it was more of, I want to use my brain to think. I want to, solve problems. I want to be able to work through a problem rather than just learning something that some people came up with, like,
Yeah.
the names and all that. But yeah, so at that point, I just knew, nah, I don't think medicine is for me. And I felt like, and at the same time, I think I realized I love, opening up tools. And like my dad really encouraged me then every time, like at home, and something spoils, and I try to see if I can fix it, even though I end up not fixing it.
Yeah.
But I was curious, and I was very inquisitive. And I also, like, my parents supported me. They never, like, you know maybe beat me for like opening up something, doing something like that. So I just looked at it. I was like, I went through the brochure then, and I was like, okay, what's very close to my passion for maths and opening up things. So I saw, okay, engineering. Yeah, I should go study engineering. And the first year I applied to school, I applied to, is it the University of Lagos? I'm not sure. But then I applied to study computer engineering because I felt that would give me the opportunity to open up computer systems. And at the same time, I can do some problem solving. But unfortunately, that year, I didn't get into school. I didn't get the admission. And
Wow.
I had to stay at home for 1 year. And that 1 year was the longest year of my life.
I can
So
imagine.
I know, right? And at that point, I felt like I needed to like engage in something. I can't just be at home for a year, waiting for the next school session. So my mom was, God bless my mom. So she was like, okay, for me, you can go enroll in a computer school and also, go for your JAM lessons. JAM is the exam that we write in Nigeria, where you need to take that before you can get admitted or gain admission into school, into university. So I started the computer class, and at the same time, I was going for my JAM lessons. And this is really nice. It's great. I learned a lot, learned about, designs, and even just, interacting with the computer system felt really good. I was always very glad to go in and, get to do some things and, practice what I learned. And during that year, I took my exams again, and this time I felt like since I got rejected for computer engineering, I don't want to lose this opportunity again. So I was like, okay, let me go for something simpler, like computer science. It's still close to engineering, but yeah, it's computer. So I went for computer science and I got the admission. But the program then was for 5 years. Like I thought it was 4 years, then getting in, I discovered 5 years. I was like, well, I didn't want to like go back and write another jam. So I was like, okay, let's do this. So 5 years program. And I feel like that was one of the best decisions I made in my life because that's sort of like started setting, the path for me. And then year one, we learned a lot about different things. Year two, we learned about computer programming. I know like computer, it's studying is good, open us to different areas of computer. I used to think before like going to school, I used to think computer science is just about programming, but then I discovered that like different aspects to computer science. There's the networking, there's the cybersecurity, there's like a lot, like the operations systems, or I think operation research, I can't remember. Like there's just different areas. But one thing I did find interesting was the computer programming aspect because I felt like I could, program something, create something, and see it work. And the journey went like that. I participated in some activities outside school, including attending like the Grace Hopper conference, and like also getting um, to learn about some programming outside my coursework. And I would say doing that sort of like created because looking back now, like through those activities, I was able to meet my mentor. He's still my mentor, and I talk about him everywhere I go because he is a very important person in my life who has helped me to grow in my journey. And yeah, like, and all this leads to how, I got to Microsoft. So
Yeah, please.
um, having a mentor after school, he would, follow up with me and see how I'm doing career-wise. What are my, decisions? What am I doing? What's next for me? And he encouraged me to, apply to grad school, go for my PhD or even my master's. And then he was the one that actually sent me the link to Carnegie Mellon when it came to Nigeria, Carnegie Mellon Africa. So
Wow.
I was applying to Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh because he also studied there. And he was like, Fumiho, I heard that Carnegie Mellon is coming to Nigeria. Why not, attend and get a feel of how the program is? So I was like, okay, I'll go. So I went for it and I fell in love with, the program, like the pitch about, trying to solve African problems and trying
Yes.
to train people within Africa to see the opportunities in Africa and also, apply that knowledge to our own scenarios. So I was like, why not? And then they also pitched, opportunity for scholarship, and they agreed to pay for your GRE or your test exams and the likes. And I was really like, wow, this is a huge opportunity. So I applied and I got the admission. I also got the one for Pittsburgh, but unfortunately it was too expensive. So I couldn't go for that. Then Carnegie Mellon Rwanda came with scholarship, and I was really grateful for that. And that gave me the opportunity, to meet a lot of amazing people, as you know,
Yeah.
Gifty. And it was a wonderful program. And, like for 2 years, interacting with people, getting to do internship, at different companies. The opportunity to go to IBM and, do an internship. Those sort of like, set my mind on, where I want to be. And also the mentorship about, like my mentor always, asking me questions like, what do you want to do next? What would you like to do? And so when we finished grad school, I got an opportunity for a small research project in the UK, which I went for. But then after that, I was a bit nervous because I didn't know what next to do. Like, I was like, what am I going to do next? I don't have a job yet. I've been trying to apply. Back then, before we graduated, I remembered, would apply for jobs. I had encouraging friends too. Then Daniels, shout out to them if they were watching this. Yeah,
all the three Daniels.
yeah, Daniel Meza, Daniel Kemelu, yeah. So yeah, would apply for jobs. So many sad stories would get. Unfortunately, like we got better feeds or something like that. So the opportunity did not come then, but we didn't give up. We kept trying. And while I was in the UK, I applied for my PhD program and also I got contacted via LinkedIn by a recruiter at Microsoft. I think they saw my profile about me doing my master's in Carnegie, Rwanda, and they wanted to reach out because I think they had a program then called Africans University Recruits Africans to Microsoft. So they were trying to get some Africans into Microsoft. So I applied for the job, went for the interview. At the same time, because the interview process took a while.
Yes.
So I had applied for grad school and already got the opportunity, and I was hoping, okay, I'm just going to start my PhD. That's what is here. But then along the way, when I was about to start, the Microsoft opportunity came. I was offered a job. And I remembered back then in school, if you remember, there was this course we took called, it's a seminar course. I think it's compulsory. And part of the questions that we asked, or part of the assignment that we're given is, try to do like maybe a vision plan. I can't remember what it's called then, like mind map or something like that. And then we would, select a company and try to write, the things that we want about the company, how to apply to the company, the activities we want to do. And coincidentally then, or not coincidentally, I wrote about Microsoft. And I was like, oh, that's like my dream company. That's where I would love to work. So when I got the job and I looked back to the assignment, I was like, wow, this is awesome. It's good to dream, and with God, your dreams can come through with hard work and God with you. So when I got the job, I was really grateful, but at the same time, I wasn't like at a point like a dilemma, because I was like, should I go for my PhD or should I start working and things like that? But long story short, I'm here at Microsoft and I enjoy what I do. I am learning a lot. It's given me an opportunity to see, how to the core areas of software engineering and software development, scalability and the likes, and those were the skills I wanted to get. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity and happy to be here.
Wow, that's really interesting. From when you were talking, I was just making some mental notes. I do remember the CMU pitch of changing Africa. I definitely
yes.
And I do remember a couple of Professor Beezy's presentations.
Yeah.
How we are very well positioned at this time to change Africa. I am glad, and I see many of us doing wonderful things. So I really appreciate that opportunity that we had. Thank you for sharing your story. Now, you mentioned that you applied to certain jobs at the beginning and then you kept being rejected, right? You received a lot of rejection emails. How did you feel at that time? What was the reality?
Oh my, yeah, it was sad, like very sad period. Very sad because, you try to dream about something and then you apply and you get the rejection, and it's no matter how or what a job is, you still feel sad because it could have been an opportunity that you can get into, and something that you desired to be part of, but then that didn't work out. So there were sad period, there were really sad period, and I think at some point maybe I felt like really a bit discouraged, but I guess the community and the friends and having a mentor to like encourage you. My mentor would make jokes around, oh, for me, I've applied to 500 applications before, and I've submitted 500 applications and only two or one got back to me. And when you hear stories like that, you'll be like, how many have I applied to?
Yeah.
I've only done one or two and I'm feeling, down. But that here's someone that's, made every effort. And now you can see where they are at this, like the face of life they are. So it just encourages me that, if you don't give up, sometimes opportunities align, with preparation. So I just kept applying. And then when this opportunity came, it felt right. And, everything worked out, even though, I had to prepare for the interviews, go through the process of studying and all that, but it's all worked out. Yeah.
Yeah, we will come to the interview later on. But what is your typical day like in Microsoft? What's your responsibility?
Oh yeah. Oh, typical day in Microsoft changes. Initially, I used to work a lot from home, so it's more like, if we don't want to lie, it's more like jumping out of bed to attend meetings. And like trying to get breakfast or lunch and then get back to work, and losing yourself in work for like a long time and realizing, oh, it's evening, I need to do something else. Yeah, so it's been wonderful. My role has changed a lot. Not a lot, like I've been here for like 2.5 years now. So I've gotten to like interact with every area of my team's products. So I'm a software engineer at Microsoft. When I joined, we worked on a very important feature in our products called Report a Concern. So I work for security and compliance at Microsoft, and our team builds a product called Communication Compliance, which companies use to like monitor like harassment or communication risk within the organization. So this product was really important, at least also, when COVID hits and everyone was working from home. So it's necessary to like have something in place where employees can feel comfortable that no one is harassing them digitally, and also no one is like sending sensitive information and things like that. So product is very important and it's growing. So I got to work on one of the important features called Report a Concern, where a user can like report a message in Teams. So yeah, so it's a product in public now, so I can talk about it. Yeah, so after that, I was tasked with ensuring that our services run well, and like, because as with every product, that comes with things like downtime or bugs or having issues in the system where customer reports and they're trying to do something but it's not working well. So I was tasked with detecting those issues even before customers reports. And so I was able to work on that, and yeah, we did achieve great results because now we really have customer issues around that area. Thanks to the work we did and with my team, everyone was active, in making sure that we improve the product. So, yeah, so now I'm exploring other, like parts of the product and adding to the features, optimizing and things like that. So it's been a very amazing experience, getting to learn how to interact with customers. Oh my God. how to talk to people, when everything is hot and, they're trying to fix the problem. So one thing I did learn is it's not sufficient to be an engineer alone. You also need to learn how to communicate with your customers. You need to learn how to visualize their problem even before they use your products. Like, how will the customer use your product? How will they interact with it and things like that? So this has been a very wonderful exposure. Yeah.
Now, on the point of you don't have to just be an engineer, what are some of the traits of a person? You've worked with people who you met at Microsoft. I'm also assuming that newer people have come and you've worked with them in a team. If someone wants to work with Microsoft and wants to be successful, what are the character traits, the attitudes that they should have?
Yes, yeah, thank you. Yeah, attitude is very important. In life generally, and most important, at the workplace, because the workplace promotes, diversity and inclusivity, if I may say. And, like everyone, we all are from different geographical regions. Like there are people from China, there are people from India, there are people from every part of the world, and we all have different cultures. So it's very important to, learn how to interact with people, especially your teammates, how you communicate with them, how you work with them. And also, like, I think one of the things that most companies usually like try to test, they call it behavioral interview. So every interview you would have, like with any tech company, there will be a part that says behavior. They want to see your attitude. They want to see whether you're a team player, whether you can communicate. When things don't go your way, how do you react? Like how do you communicate your ideas? How do you interact with people? Do you respect your teammates? Do you respect your manager? And do they respect you in turn? Things like that. So it's very important to be a team player, to carry everyone along what you're doing, like let your manager know what you're doing. So yeah, it's a very, I would say, one of the most important attributes or attitude to have is to be a team player. Like, let the team work with the team and things like that. Yeah.
All right, Kesha. So let's talk about failure. Once you are employed to Microsoft, right? Yeah. The world sees you as a genius because you are working at Microsoft. Yes. Once you are working with other geniuses at Microsoft and you see that there is something you are unable to do, something you don't understand, how do you handle this? I'm asking this question because I've had interactions with people who have a problem with their programming or something they are doing, and they will never tell anyone till the very last minute, and they say, tried and tried and tried and it didn't work. Please tell us your experience about that in general.
Yeah. I'm going to share, like my experience, because I used to be in that situation before, where when you have a task, you want to put in all your effort, your best effort. Maybe you want people to say that you can do something.
Yeah.
But one thing I've realized here in the company is everyone is willing to help you if you have an open mind. So what that means is no one is going to look down on you for not knowing 1 + 1. No one is going to look down on you for not remembering to do something, So everyone wants to help when you ask for help. Let's say you don't know how to do something. That doesn't mean that you're not smart. And one notion that maybe people do have is that like it's geniuses that work at big tech company, but I don't think that's true. Because I think the most important thing is that you have a growth mindset. You're willing to learn. I feel anybody and everyone can learn to do something, can get better at something. It may be difficult at first, but with a growth mindset, you can learn from others. You can, sit on the shoulder of giants or stand on the shoulder of giants and, work your way through. So that's one thing I did learn here, that, it's better to ask for help early and, so that you can get it done rather than wait until, the very end to ask for help or, tell your manager or your colleagues what is happening. So the earlier you can ask for help, the earlier you can get other people's perspective and find the solution. They may not actually tell you the solution, but even having a conversation with someone, with a colleague or with your manager, kind of sometimes opens up your heart, opens up your mind to things that you didn't see in the first place. And then you can also solve the problem yourself, like, because now you've had a conversation and things are becoming clearer. Because sometimes, most times, why we're unable to solve some problems is because some things are not clear. But once those bottlenecks are like removed and you get clarity, then it becomes a lot easier. Then you can think through and you solve the problem. Yeah, so I would say it's very important to communicate as soon, like as early as possible. Get clarifications. It's questions are never like enough. Like I would like it's you can never like it's never too much. Yeah, it's never too much to ask questions. So keep asking, keep asking, keep asking until you're sure that you understand what you're doing. Because it's better to ask questions and get it right than not ask questions and get it wrong. Yeah.
One question before I let you go. I know that if I don't ask this question, my viewers may not really be happy with me. How do I position myself to get a job at Microsoft?
Oh yeah, that's a very big one. Yes, that's a very important question. I would say the things that helps me along my journey is those things we learned in school, then like how to create your LinkedIn profile, putting yourself out there in terms of your skills, like especially on LinkedIn. Now we have like something that can sell us even while we're sleeping. Like you can create a profile, recruiters can reach out to you via LinkedIn. So I would say getting a job starts with all this process, like, having a very good profile, have your skills there. That's anyone that searches for you can easily find you. And then the other one is to prepare. Like most companies do their interview process, and I feel like most are like similar in terms of you have to know your data structures and algorithms and practicing. Sometimes it feels difficult. It still feels difficult now because sometimes what you do on the job, you sit down and you think about the process, but during interviews you have to like answer a question within some minutes. So sometimes people get nervous and it can be difficult. But I feel practice helps. Like the more you practice, the more you get comfortable with those kind of questions. So just keep practicing, keep doing it, and one day, as they say, the sun will shine. Yeah. So yeah, practice helps.
Wow. Kesha, thank you so much for making the time to join us. I would share your LinkedIn profile with the viewers in the description so that anyone who wants to reach out to you can. So that just as someone mentored you to be here, you can also mentor someone.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm always happy to do that. Yes. Yeah, happy to connect with anyone. Yeah.
Thank you so much. One thing, I don't know if you remember this, but then in Rwanda, two of the Daniels, and I think it was the Nigerian team, you did some amazing jollof. That jollof was
Oh, yes, jollof to the world, Nigeria. Yes, Nigerian
I
jollof.
know. It was my first time eating Nigerian jollof, and it was really
Aw,
nice.
oh, nice. That's
So
good. Glad
thank
to
you
hear
for
that.
that as well.
Glad to hear that. Thank
All
you.
right. I will see you some other time. Thank you for making the time to join me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the invite as well. I'm happy to be here and really happy with what you're doing. I would say congratulations and well done, girl.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. All right. We will chat some other time then.
Sounds good.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, and click the notification bell to be notified of our next video. Until then, please make sure you have at least one good conversation this week.